Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6, Central Kentucky TV, Community Focus on Washington County. And we have with us today Dr. John Isaacs, Jr.,
Yes.
who is also the chair of the Water and Sewer Board.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk today.
And we're going to talk today about the sewer expansion, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I was told, so that's what I prepared for.
Okay.
So there you,
That's yeah.
yes.
But we do have some big things going on with the sewer expansion and a big grant that Washington County got, Springfield
Yes.
received
Yeah.
through the state and federal
Right,
government.
that's water. You talking about the water? Okay, because that's
Oh, no, I was
one
talking about the
one-
sewer.
Okay, yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
I thought there's a lot. There's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
know,
things
there's so
there.
much going on. That's why I was
Okay.
thinking, are we talking about sewer and what? But I
Sure.
distinctly remember.
But
Okay.
we treat the water and sewer as two different companies. Now, in my mind, they're not, because I treat them as one. I try to treat them as one, but fiscally we treat them as two and try to run them separately, and then we kind of merge them together. So that's kind of what it is. But yes, so as you know, we
But you have one board that covers the
board
water
covers
and
both
sewer,
of them. So
appointed through the mayor
Mayor
of
and city
Springfield,
council
because it is the water and sewer is owned by the city.
yes, and when I got on the board, I didn't realize what they did, what their job did. My father was on it for 10 years or so, and I knew he went to meetings on once a month. I just didn't know what he did, but it's very big. It's the biggest component of the city. We've got about a $2 million budget a year, which all the other components of the
Now, your
of the
city administrator might want to disagree with you
Really?
on that, because
Okay.
that's a little bit, the city has a little bit bigger budget
Okay,
than
didn't
that.
know. Okay, all right. Well, let me check the numbers. Okay, okay. I stand corrected.
Okay.
Stand corrected. But that doesn't come. Okay, that's separate. I didn't know that, but I want to check it. Okay, so it's a pretty big. We got a lot of stuff going on. But what we're talking about today is the big project, and I think this might be the biggest project that we've had in the county as far monetarily. The water plant expansion right now is going to cost. Do you remember how much the thing was?
The water plant?
I'm sorry, the water sewer plant. What we're talking about today, the new
sewer
plant,
yeah.
the new sewer plant. It's $15,300,000, I think.
Okay.
But it fluctuates a little bit depending on how we're going to cut and all that. But that's what we applied for, and that's what we got. So a little.
Now, some of that is grant money,
Yeah.
and some of that is loan money, low interest
Yes.
loan money.
Yes, over many years.
Right.
And so the grant, if you know grant money, we don't have to pay back. It's essentially a gift from the state, from rural development, and the loan, of course, we do it. We get a good municipal rate, and it's put over 30, maybe 40 years, and we think well hopefully we won't have to do it again until that loan is paid off. And that's what our plan is. So,
yeah, we'll be dead and gone.
well, we'll be, yes, yes. Yeah,
When that's paid off.
Yeah, when that's paid off, yeah. So it'll be
But
something.
we needed to do it.
Yes, well, yes.
We're very
And
important.
let me tell you why we needed to do it. We started about 2015. We hired an engineering firm. Well, we were, in 2008 is when we knew we had problems. We've known we've had problems with the sewer for a while. We can go back, and why do we have problems? Well, because we're using, we still have some clay sewer pipes from the induction and infiltration that we have, the I&I that leaks into the sewer, and that water, every time it rains, that water gets passed into our sewer plant. We can't treat it all. So about every time we get a good rain, we have to call in to the state and say we overrun, we can't treat it, and they understand what's going on. And many cities have to do that.
Yeah.
We're not the only one, but it does happen. In 2008, there was it was midsummer. There was no rain, but our plant went toxic and died, and we had a fish kill. So we knew we had to get it, and we got fined by the state, and we found out the problem, and we rectified it with one of the companies here in town. They were fined, but we knew we had a problem. So from 2008 to 15, we were putting Band-Aids on it. We were just kind of patching it. 2015, we got hired an engineering firm, and we said, what are we going to do? And they said, well, here's what you need to do to rectify that situation, but you're going to have other problems coming down if you don't do it now. So halfway through the patch, we were going to work on the headworks. The headworks are essentially the pumps. We used to have these two giant screw pumps that would pump all the raw sewage through the plant. So we did away with those at that time, and they said, you got other trouble, let's look at a new plant. And we said, well, we can't afford it. And we said, there are ways around it. Yes, you can't afford it now, but you have to be ready when there is money and you can't afford it. So we went on and did that. And here it is, 2020, and we do have the money. We were all lined up, and everybody said yes. And we went to the city council about a year ago and asked you guys if we could raise the rates in order to pay for this, and we said yes, it's a good thing for everybody, let's do it. And so that brings us to this.
Yeah. And the grant money that's become available is, how much was that? 7 million?
I think a little bit more than that.
More than that?
Yeah,
8?
yeah, maybe 8. Just because it went up after. You remember that originally we got the figures back. We thought we could do it for about 10 million.
Yeah.
And that's what our figures came in from our engineering firm in Lexington. But the bids came back much higher than that. So we thought, what are we going to do? Well, we kind of looked around, and everybody agreed this has to be done, and the numbers are right. We just missed them a little bit. So it is, it is what it is. There's only a limited number of people who do that kind of work, and if you want to get it done, that's the price you got to pay.
Yeah. But I feel fortunate that we are able to get, $8 million free to take care of our sewer problem.
Yes, and
I mean, and it is tax money, of course.
Sure, it's our money.
We've all paid,
and I heard, whenever that big figure came out, people said, well, why can't, we need better, we need this, we need a school, but it's not like that. Everything has gotten so big that you can't tell the government, yeah, we like the sewer money, can we use the sewer money for school money? No, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
It's
earmarked for certain things and certain projects, and so
and you have to be ready when the money is available. And everything kind of worked together, and we're very pleased with it.
I'd say.
So it's gonna happen.
Good job.
And it is. We broke ground the 13th. You were there. We broke ground on the 13th of December. And that was our ceremony, and so it's underway. I think 2021 is the completion date. So
well, that's pretty good.
The substantial completion date. It should be pretty much by.
And so, tell me what that is going to do. This.
Oh yeah, yes. While we're doing this, right now we can treat 880,000 gallons a day, less than 1 million, whenever it comes in, and usually we do about 500,000, about 500,000 gallons of sewage comes into our plant each day or so, 400, 500. But when it rains, or we have a big, something goes on, there's just a lot of people in town, for whatever reason, our sewer rises. Well, we could only treat the 880,000. So several times a year, about once a month, we were calling to the state that we can't treat it. Now we got 1,300,000. So we got the percentage there. We've gone up, about 160% or so on that.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so we're pleased with that. So that will get us. We think that'll get us through the next 40 years. And not only that, we've had industry come in, and whenever they come to Sweden and they say, hey, we got somebody looking. What can you treat their sewage? We say, sure we can. Now we really can, okay? Because before we were hoping we could, but now in 2021 we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're pleased.
Yeah, which of course will.
You have to be poised for growth, and you
That's
have
right.
to have it ready. You have to be ready when the money's there, and we are. So
Yeah, yeah. And then that is going to allow for growth, and you know, because you know everyone's always talking about us needing this and needing that. So if you do need a new school, or if we are selected for this particular industry to come into town, then we're going to be able to serve them through our sewer system.
One hand feeds the other, and it all kind of works together.
Yeah.
But it's not coming from the same money. It's just it's just different. So you just have to be ready and strike.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's gonna happen. Whenever we approached the city council back then, since I've been on the board, I think I started in '05. We've only had to come.
Appointed by Mayor Mike Hayden?
Yes, Mayor Mike appointed me, and really through you. I don't know if you remember or not, but I didn't know what a big deal it was. How all the employees of the water and sewer company, they want to know who's on the board. Mike asked me if I'd do it. And I told him, let me think about it. I think I told you. And then after I told you, I went out and told people, hey, I'm on the water board. I'm going and Mike came to me and said, that's not the way we're supposed to be doing that. so
yeah.
I just got excited and started telling him that. But anyway.
Well, it is a big thing.
Sure. I mean, it's
like you said, a very important job.
I'm on it.
And you do it for free, pretty much.
Yes. Well, there's a small stipend, but
yeah,
anyway.
Not worth your time and trouble. And
we've got now Jimmy Carrico just retired. He was on 15 years, did a wonderful job. We're going to miss Jimmy. Jimmy is a businessman. He was a very sound businessman, so he watched the money. He's also good when we had problems or backhoe, we needed this. Jimmy could talk that kind of language and get to that.
Well, he was the city works director for a long time, and so he certainly knows the ins and outs of the water and sewer system.
Yes, and we have Thomas Hayden who's been on it.
Yeah.
Now when Dwight Wright died, I was on it with Jimmy, and then Dwight passed away, and they made me chairman of it, and I wasn't ready to be chairman. So I asked Thomas Hayden. I said, Thomas, give me 3 months. I've told this story many times, especially when Thomas thinks about retiring. I said, Thomas gave me 3 months, and that was in 2012, and he's still on. He's still going strong. So we're very pleased.
Well, Thomas is a young man. He needs to be on there.
I think so too.
Yeah. And he has a lot of good experience and background.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he can speak the engineer language. That's why I wanted him to stay on, so he could do the engineer speak and kind of help me through it and get me going. But he stayed on it, and he's indispensable.
Yeah.
Now we also have Jessica Mattingly. I don't believe. Yeah, you guys approved her. I don't think she's been sworn in yet.
No, I don't think she's been. But
she's going to be our new director to take Jimmy's place, and she's an engineer.
So that's good.
So that's going to help
here
out.
in Washington County.
Yeah, she works for John Hayden. She works for Rame Construction. She works for John Hayden.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, good.
I haven't really talked to her about that, but I'm going to, and so we're pleased that she's coming on too.
Yeah. And who else is on the board? Is that it?
There's 3 of us.
Okay.
At one time there were 7, and then I got to be a little cumbersome, and I think when Dwight was mayor, he was on it. He was mayor and he was on the board too. Then,
right.
Yeah. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you and Thomas and
was Jimmy's still on.
And Jimmy and now this new lady.
Jessica Mattingly.
Jessica,
she was a
just the 3 of you. I was thinking there was more. Okay, I'm wrong on that.
I think it should probably be 5. Sometimes we have if we can't get quorum or something, but sometimes we need a little bit. You don't want too many to come interfere, but you need you want people to be involved with it, but you kind of need an odd number for ties and stuff too. So so maybe I'll
You'll have to talk to the mayor about that.
Maybe going 5. Thomas and I have thought that might be a good working number, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, and so now Johnny, when this gets under construction, of course, we broke ground, but what is that going to involve? Is there going to be a lot of, obviously, a lot of digging and things and...
Yeah, we're going to do a little demolition, but of course it's got to stay working the whole time. You can't just shut it down, say, hey, we'll start treating sewer next month. No, we got to keep it going. So nobody will know exactly what's going on. If you drive by, you'll see, hey, that's new and it's different. So and another thing, we're going to keep it right in the same place, right on Bloomfield Road, because that's the city's property. Yeah, city owns that. Then we thought about even building a new plant some other place, but it has to be preferably in the lowest level of the town, and that's where it is. The Road Run, which we call it Town Branch. Road Run is the formal name, so it follows Road Run because that's where we have to dump it. That's our biggest, the Town Branch. It's our biggest
water
here. So it has to be to that. So I always thought, well, maybe we can go on down the road and get it and collect more. We won't have to pump more. We can do away with some pump stations if we can get it even lower. But then you run into the problems not in my backyard. You know, somebody might be willing to sell it, but then you're going to be next to somebody else's property running a sewer plant right there. So we already have it there, and people are accustomed to it, and we know it.
And it'll just be an expansion there of a treatment plant.
Yes.
And then will there also be some lines run, some pipes run as well?
Across the street, we're going to go across Bloomfield Road twice, I believe.
Okay,
because there's going to be some of it's going to be across the street, across the road.
Yeah.
152, the Bloomfield Road.
That the city will be required to.
Yeah, we already have
maintain.
We already own that over there. There's a big we have a pumping station.
But I think the road too will have to maintain or something.
Yeah, there's something. I think we have to make sure that it doesn't have to be resurfaced for a while.
Yeah.
We got permission, I believe, to cut it. Are we cutting it? I can't remember. We had to get permission to cut it.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not. I don't know if we're born or cutting it. Sometimes it's easier to do one or the other. It's cheaper to cut it, but it's better sometimes to bore it. And I can't remember exactly what we did because the engineers are going back and forth what we're going to do.
I see. Okay.
So,
okay.
If you cut it, then you tear the blacktop up, and that's
right.
That's why if we cut it, we have to make sure.
We have to get it.
Make sure that
back in order.
We don't want to cause a big dip.
Yeah.
A thrill hill. You don't want any more of those. That's already been taken care of. That's been eliminated.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so and I know this is a little off the subject because this is in the water part, but what about up at the reservoir? Because that is going to be.
Yes.
That's going to be fixed, though, isn't it?
Yes, that has been approved. And, okay, good news, that came in lower than we thought. But when that
or the amount to fix that?
Yes.
Okay.
The McCain brothers are going to do that.
And that's going to be with grant money also.
Yes,
through FEMA.
FEMA, that's FEMA money.
That's impressive. That's good.
So that worked out,
So the city of Springfield's getting some FEMA money.
You know how things happen. Bad news is good news. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. So things kind of even out. Not only that, now because we were one of 20 counties that got FEMA money, that also
that was from the
because of the heavy rains that we had.
Right in the spring.
In the spring, we had the dam slid. This is right behind Bluegrass Dairy.
Bluegrass Dairy.
Yeah, right behind Bluegrass Dairy. The dam slid. I think David Bartley saw it one morning, called Kevin Devine. Kevin Devine was right on top of it. We called the state. The state was down that morning, said, yes, that's a dam failure. We got to do something. So they lowered the water in it immediately, and we've kept it down about 8 to 10 feet down below pool right now. So it's down, and we're going to keep it down until we get it fixed. But that's being done now. It'll be done probably. We'll get it done by the summer.
Have they haven't started working on that yet?
Started on it, but it's there. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
So the money's there.
And that was FEMA money to pay for that.
We thought that was going to be about $600,000. Sorry, he's told these big numbers right now. They all start blending together. That was going to be about $600,000. But then, if we're going to do the whole dam over and raise the dam and put more water in it, that was going to be a lot. We couldn't do that, and then that was going to make there's a lot to do to raise a dam, so we couldn't get into all that. So we're going to patch it.
Yeah.
And patch the dam and keep the reservoir. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's our backup water supply if something happens.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, because we were one of 20 counties that got that FEMA money because something bad happened to us, that opened it up. Then we qualified for this other money that opened up. They said, since your county had this happen to it, there must be other things. Can we help you out in other ways? Yes, you can. So now we're looking at getting water from Marion County, from Lebanon Water Company, and go through the Marion Water District, also from Boyle County, from Danville.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no Boyle County, but it's Danville. Yeah. So we're going to get Danville, we're going to hook up to Danville and Lebanon, and bring it into Springfield. So that's pretty amazing.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. That will solve. If all that happens, that will solve our water problem.
Yeah.
And when I first got on the board, I thought that has to be solved.
That's been a concern for a long time.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
Because we did not have enough water.
Didn't have enough water
in an emergency.
Yes, right. We've got if Willisburg Lake is full, we have about a year, and we don't get rain. If we have a drought for a year, that's about what we have. Of course, the quality of water decreases as it goes down because after a while you're sucking,
mud.
You suck mud. After a while you suck mud. They say after about a year.
Okay.
So we got a year's worth of water in there. So once it's filled, it's what you have. But after this comes, we don't have to worry about it. We'll have it indefinitely. That's if we didn't grow. Now, if we grew and we have somebody, right now we treat about 1 million gallons a day out of the Willisburg Lake. Some companies want 1 million gallons a day, and what do we tell them? Yeah, we can do it, but we couldn't. But now, if we get this, we can do it. We could always try to find a way, but now we found it. We think. Yeah. And that's because something bad happened, because you're there and you know what your needs are, you can say, yes, we can use it, and here's how we're going to use it, and let's do it. Yeah. So it worked out good.
And that's going to be really fabulous.
I think that'll be probably the biggest thing that I used to fret and worry about it and say, this is how we're going to solve this thing. I'm telling these little white lies to Sweeta that we can do it, and we couldn't. So now
don't tell Daniel Carney that you've been lying to him.
I had my fingers crossed. Yeah.
Because if we just like our new distillery,
sure.
We needed
a lot of water.
They need a lot of water.
Yeah.
So we have to be ready and prepared to be able to provide that water.
Yeah.
And so that's great. And also, we can give them water as well. Is that true?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Will we be able to?
Yes. Right now, we have a line. Oh, we were one of only one other community that didn't have a communication with another municipality or another water source. Yeah. We were one of the lone. We were sitting all by ourselves. There's another one in Eastern Kentucky, and they hooked up. So I think we might have been the only one. Now, since we did hook up with Danville, we're no longer in that way. Yeah. I've heard one engineer. This is kind of funny, but they say I've heard a few of them say this. They call it the worm theory, that a worm could travel from one end of the state to the other and go through it without, but it couldn't get to Springfield. Now it can. So a worm can travel through it. Yeah. So just
that's good. Yeah.
Just kind of give you a visual that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now Springfield is connected to everybody else, to the rest of the state.
Right.
Through and because Danville has an essentially
and that
unlimited,
was money given to us. And did we?
Yeah, that was.
We got grant money on that.
Yes, because we're the only ones that had that. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that was a big.
But we did agree to raise water rates as a result. Sewer rates.
You mean
no?
They kind of go hand in hand when you get.
They do, because when you get your bill, it's all on one.
Right, it's all on one.
But they are separate on your bill.
Yes, they are.
Water is separate from the sewer.
We can only tell how much water you're using. We can't tell how much sewer you're using. Yeah. So it's kind of estimated how much that is. But if you're using a lot of water, and let's say if you're a dairy farmer and you need a lot of water, you can get a separate water tap. As long as you have a sewer tap on another line, because we know you're going to use your sewer at some point. So
Yeah.
So you have to have them both.
Yeah. And I think the sewage is based on the amount of water
How much
you
water
use.
you use, yeah.
So,
There's
as to
some
what
proportion,
that,
yeah, there's some percentage about.
Yeah.
They figure if we're using that much water, it's going somewhere, so we're treating it. So,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
with your toilet, with your showers, bath, anything, it's all going into that system. And there's a lot of, like I say, there was a lot of people years ago that their gutters were going into the sewer. The gutters were hooked directly into the sewer. So every time it rained, whoosh, whoosh, went through there. So we went around and smoked some of the houses. I remember it's about the time I first got on it. I never even heard that term, but they could pump smoke into the ground, and the ground, you could pump smoke into the sewer, and it would find its way through the ground, and go, if it comes out your gutters, then we know that you're hooked into it.
Yeah.
And we have found a few like that.
Oh, gosh.
Wasn't you? Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They've checked up on Lebanon Hill, and
but there's a few subdivisions that were like that. It was just kind of common at one time to do it like that.
Yeah.
So.
And then, will some of those, the pipe, the sewer lines and things, there's not going to be anything done on those that are in existence within the city?
Not with that, but we do when Tommy Osborne, who just retired, he'd always have a project that we would work on, and we do maybe a street. So our goal is to do a little bit when money becomes available. Then we go to our sewer and say, what street you want to do now? Which one can we redo in order to get it current?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take all the clay out of it.
Yeah.
And so it get.
That is going on.
Yes, it goes on every year. We replace some sewer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or we'll line the manholes. I think we have about 1,000 manholes in the town. So when we have money, we try to do routine maintenance on the manholes. So and that keeps them from leaking. That keeps water from coming in or going out. So it goes both ways. If you got a leak, not only are we treating rainwater, your sewer will leach out into the yards. So we want to keep that down too.
Yeah. So when they do that, you don't even know what's going on, right? I mean,
you see a big green patch in your yard because it's pretty good fertilizer. So.
I mean, when they're working on it. You don't even know, do you?
Yeah. Let's see. We can. There are materials now that you can slip over one. So they're doing that a lot too. You can just put a larger diameter pipe and slip it down there. They've got these hydraulics that can push it through. Pretty amazing stuff.
It is pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah. People don't realize just the regular upkeep of a city or a county or any kind of.
Always something going on. Of course, even today they did that. That was a scheduled repair that they did on McCord Street, but they had to shut down Main Street in order to get to it. And then they were going to put a new hydrant in there, but they couldn't because some of the valves were old. They couldn't cut the valves off. They couldn't find a good valve to cut it off. So that's what took so long.
Oh, okay.
That's why it was running all the time.
Yeah, and I saw water on the cross Main Street or at the bottom of Lebanon Hill coming out of the.
They couldn't get a good valve.
They couldn't get that closed off then.
Yeah. But because it was flowing like that, we didn't have to boil any water. As long as you keep pressuring your line, you don't have to boil the water. So nobody really knew it other than if you saw a bunch of water rolling down there.
Yeah.
And if your water on Main Street, it was cut off for a few hours. And it should be on.
And no one could get on Main Street
Right.
for a while today. So, yeah. Well, that's all really good information, Johnny. And, I know you're always encouraging people to come down to the sewer plant or the water plant and see how things operate.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good tour.
It is.
It's a fascinating tour. So if you got a classroom or something like that, really, any person. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's pretty amazing to see raw sewage come in, and we used to have this bin that would just get the raw, get some of the big stuff out, and then at the very end of it. You see fish swimming in it, and that's how you tell whether or not your plant is working properly. If you've got the fish swimming down at the bottom, because those fish, because I think at least once a month, we have to take the fish that are swimming down there and get them treated to make sure they're reproducing. If they are fertile, then they're healthy. So they're being monitored all the time. So we got to make sure everything's healthy. So when I said we had a fish kill back
2008.
No, it was 2012 when we had a fish kill. It killed not only our little fish down there, but it killed
all the fish in the town branch.
Yes, it went all the way down to
Bloomfield Road.
Yeah, it went to the Berg, went down to the.
Oh, went down to the Berg.
Went down to. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're taking care of it, Johnny.
Thank you.
And you and the water board and water and sewer board and taking care of things, and you know, we've got really good stuff going on here in Springfield and Washington County, and I just want to thank you for all your hard work.
Have we gone over? Did we talk too long?
Yeah, no, we're finishing up now, and we're sharing this with the Channel 6 listening area so they know what's going on.
Good deal.
So, good deal. Thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure.